Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. In this video, we're going to talk about gym legend. Do you have what it takes? Do you have what it takes to be a gym legend? Before I get into this topic, if you guys need coaching, check out the link below. Coaching is what I do for a living. I'd love to work with you. All right. Are you a gym legend? What does it take to be a legend in the gym? This is kind of a tongue-in-cheek video, but I'm going to talk a little bit about strength standards and physique standards and what it takes when you walk into the actual commercial gym to just have people stare at you and be in awe and ask you important questions like, hey, bro, are you on steroids? Hey, bro, are you taking SARMs? Hey, bro, are you taking testosterone? All right, let's dive into some things. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment down below if you think any of these strength or physique standards are off base. All right, first off, we have to start with the bench press because it's the only lift that matters, right? It's the only lift that matters at all in the commercial gym. So if you want to be considered a gym legend, you have to hit about a 315-pound bench. 315-pound bench or 3 plates is certainly the gold standard. If you want to be GOAT, like people just staring with their jaws just absolutely dropping, you'd have to be at about 365. That's the greatest of all time. That's something people walk in, they'll just stare at you or talk about you. 275 is a very respectable bench. 225 is kind of climbing the ladder level. You're doing really good. People respect you. You know, they think you're doing excellent, but it's nothing that's going to draw crazy amounts of attention. Then you have the scrapper that's at about 185-pound bench, the guy that's kind of been climbing the ladder a little bit, but still feels like he has a long way to go. And of course, you have the 135-pound bench, a guy over in the corner, grinding it out, counting his macros, tracking his calories, tracking his workouts. But he's just kind of getting started, and he feels a little bit like he's in the do you even lift class. All right, now next up, I thought I'd toss pull-ups into the mix because if you see somebody doing pull-ups in the gym with a decent amount of weight, it is certainly legendary. If I see somebody doing a pull-up with about 45 pounds, and we're talking about reps here, you know, doing like 6, 8 reps, whatever, with 45 pounds strapped on, and they're doing really fully extended pull-ups, really good control, no cheating, no ego pull-ups, that sort of thing. I consider that to be legendary. Now, if I walk into a commercial gym and I see somebody with 2 45-pound plates, I'm going to stop and watch them. I'm going to check out their form, see how they're doing. I have nothing but respect because that would be the greatest of all time. That's GOAT level. Seeing somebody with a little bit of weight doing really quality pull-ups, full extension, good, well, nothing but respect. Now, when I see somebody just doing really controlled, fully extension pull-ups with no weight, say around the 8 to 10 rep range, that's climbing the ladder. You're doing great. You're off to a good start. You have a bright future ahead. The 5 to 6 rep range, that's the scrapper. That's kind of me, right? That's where I've been for a long, long time, since about 1990. And, you know, the do you even lift crowd, the crowd that feels like, do I even lift? They're at about 1 to 3 pull-ups. All right, now we're going to move on to being a squatzilla. I would say when I go in a commercial gym, it's extremely rare to see somebody squatting 405 pounds. This is definitely a gym legend, in my opinion. I've seen a lot of 315-pound benchers over the years when I've wandered into commercial gyms, but it's been very rare to see somebody benching 405. I've only seen it maybe a handful of times in my lifting career, in my 38, 39 years of lifting. So that is definitely gym legend standard. I think I've only seen somebody outside of a powerlifting gym squat with 455 to depth. That is definitely the greatest of all time when it comes to gyms. Now, if you're around 275 to 315, you're knocking out reps with quality form. Much respect. The climbing the ladder guy is about at 225 pounds. He's doing really good. He's worked on his form. He's bringing that squat up, and he's just a step below what we would call the highly respectful level. And I don't mean any disrespect here. When I say respect, I mean that's kind of, you start to feel a little bit of respect. You start to feel a little bit of attention, you know, good positive attention when you're at about 275 to 315. When we as squatters are at about 225, we kind of feel like we're climbing the ladder. We feel like we're doing okay, but we feel like we have a long way to go. So I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. 185 is a scrapper, somebody that's still trying to feel out form, and they got a long way to go, and they're just scrapping away, putting in their time in the gym, trying to eke out plus ones. And then you have the do you even lift crowd. They're just starting out 135. They feel their form, they might not understand form. They feel in their head like, do I even lift? Everybody else is doing so much more than me, right? All right, so let's talk about the death lift, or as people normally call it, the deadlift, but I like to call it the death lift. If you see somebody doing, 545, 600, I would say 600 pounds, that would be the GOAT level. Like, wow, we got just a ton of plates. What is going on? That would be the equivalent for me of having like a 365 bench, or even like a 455, maybe up to a 500 squat. All right, what would be gym legend for a death lift? For the deadlift 495, having 5 plates on there, that is super impressive, super rare. I see somebody do that, their gym legend status. I'm going to watch them. I'm going to check out their form. They have nothing but my respect and my eyeballs. 405 is very respectful. Now, 405 is a very respectful level. It might not seem like that on the internet. It might not seem like that when you're watching YouTube videos or watching your Instagram feed scroll by. But the number of guys that hit 405 is more rare than you think. It's definitely a super respectful level. 315, you're climbing the ladder. You're doing all right. You're about where everybody else that's serious is at. You got some way to get. You got a little bit of way to go yet. You're feeling strong, but you're not feeling that solid degree of gym respect, right? And about 225 to 275, you're scrapping. You've built up some strength. You're doing okay, but you feel like you got a long way to go. And then you have kind of the 185, do I even lift crowd? Do I even lift? This is like everybody else's warm-up sets. You're doing good. You're working on form, but you look around the gym and sometimes you just wish you had a few more plates on the deadlift. All right, so the overhead press, not a lift you typically see somebody in commercial gyms really moving a lot of weight with. 275 is definitely GOAT, greatest of all time level. It's pretty much equivalent to a 365-pound bench. If you see this in a commercial gym, it's like spotting like the Yeti. It's like spotting the Sasquatch. It's extremely rare. 225 is definitely going to be gym legend. I haven't seen this more than a handful of times in my time in commercial gyms. 225 is definitely gym legend. 185 is very respectful. You have to work hard to get to a 185-pound overhead press. I have a lot of respect for guys that get to 135. That's climbing the ladder. You're off to a good start. You've made some really good progress. You got some time to go before you really start to catch eyeballs in the gym, but you're on a good path. You're definitely climbing the ladder. 105, 115, you're scrapping. You feel like you're in a good place. You're building some strength, but you just feel like you got miles to go. And then the 95 or maybe even 75-pound crowd, you're feeling like, do I even lift? This just is super light. I feel kind of embarrassed. I need to get my strength up, right? Now, one final lift. I was debating on putting the dumbbell row in here, but I'm going to go with the dumbbell bench simply because a lot of commercial gyms really don't have heavy dumbbells enough to really do GOAT level and gym legend level on the dumbbell row. So with the dumbbell bench, you got 130s. If you're hitting those, you're definitely the greatest of all time. 130s, 140s, 150s. Everybody's watching you. You're a complete beast. The 100s, that is gym legend level. You start tossing around 100s. I'm going to watch you. I have nothing but respect. 80s is very respectful. You get around the 75 to 80s, you've built a lot of strength. You're on your way. It's no doubt you're going to eventually hit the 100s. 60s is kind of climbing the ladder level. 45s, you're scrapping. You built a little bit of strength, but you got a long way to go. And then the 30s, you're kind of just starting out and feeling like, I see guys curling this, man. Do I even lift? All right, so let's talk about physique standards since we talked about gym legend lifts. Let's talk about some physique standards. First off, you have the guys that are kind of the bloat lords. They have the 18 to 20 inch muscular arms. They're about 240 pounds or more. they just look like they could play, football. They just look like solid chunks, and they're pretty strong. What we call country strong. They're the guys that often on the internet are like, what do you mean you can't have 18-inch natural arms? I have 18-inch natural arms. Well, you also have 34% body fat. No disrespect meant, but that's kind of the bloat lord. We watch these guys. They have pretty big arms. They're pretty strong. They're pretty beefy guys. We have nothing but respect for them. And hey, we don't care that they're overweight. We just like watching them move that heavy ass weight. Now, for the rest of us that aren't that country strong, bloat lord standard, if you have 17-inch arms with that bicep vein, you're the greatest of all time. You got some big natty arms. You got the bicep vein going on. You're pretty lean. You're pretty jacked. Nothing but respect, because a 17-inch arm natural looks a lot bigger than you expect. A lot of people think you need a 20-inch arm, 19-inch arm to look huge, but a 17-inch arm is going to look monstrous. The 16-inch arm and being jacked, relatively lean, I consider that to be gym legend. It's hard to build a 16-inch arm. You have to put in a lot of work. You're going to have to put in a lot of years of consistency, and to do so remaining relatively lean, like under 15%. Everybody's going to watch you. You're going to look great. You're definitely a gym legend. The 15-inch arms and 18% body fat guy, you respect. You're coming up. Your body fat percentage is going down or hanging in the okay level. Your arm size is coming up. You got a lot of good things going on here. I walk into the gym. I see you. I say respect. You're on the right track. Then you have the 14-inch arms and fluffy. They're climbing the ladder. They're kind of the guy that's in the 6, 8, 10 year of training. They're moving up. They're attacking the iron. They're working on things. They don't look scrawny. They don't look, necessarily skinny fat. They're doing okay. They're off to a good start. And then you have the 13-inch arm guys that are skinny fat that feel like, do I even lift? All right, guys, let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below. Any lifts that you consider gym legend status, and anything I messed up when it comes to physique standards. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.